I feel bad because she messaged and said, "Kate,
Oh, that's
I didn't
right.
get my thing," and I was like, "You're not on for this one," and I was like, you're on for like 14 and 15," and I felt bad because I know exactly the scene she wants to chat
She
about.
wants. Oh, that's right. We get the
So Miss
naked rear. I forgot about that. Yes, we
We get the
do.
naked everything.
We get the
So
naked
Miss
rear.
Jan, I do apologize. It's poor planning on my part. I will try to in the future make sure that you just automatically have a spot on anywhere
The naked rears.
extreme naked Sam happens.
Naked,
Okay,
naked.
I'm do better on that one. That's on
There'll
me.
be other times.
Eh,
There'll be
uh,
other times, I'm
my
sure.
question is,
Anyhow,
when it flashes his rear, was that just the wind or was that a fan?
I don't know. Because it looks like they're actually outside, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
So
outside.
I wonder if
Probably
that was like
wind.
meant to be. I don't know.
well, I, I guess it's
We just lucked out. I'm gonna take it either way.
absolutely true.
I know, right? We're gonna take it either way.
There you go.
I guess it,
Love it.
I guess that depends on the weather too, whether there was a breeze or not.
Breeze.
Yeah, I mean they might have brought in a fan just so it looks like a more, I don't know,
Natural.
natural day. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's Scotland. We're lucky it wasn't raining, so
Yeah.
we're
I know,
good.
right?
Yeah,
But then it would
Absolutely.
have been a wet shirt too. So,
Yeah, but he wasn't wearing the shirt. Once the shirt is
well,
gone,
he
that's
was
what
wearing the shirt.
Yeah, the windy rear end view surprise was nice. That was nice. I don't think it was that they brought in a fan. I think that they have an excellent editor and knew which take to use. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
wonder how many takes they had to get that. I always
Sam, could
wonder
you
that.
walk back one more time?
Do that one more time so we can see your rear. Okay. Take 20. Do that.
Oh, okay, all right.
yeah.
We are trying really hard to pretend we're going to talk about the entire episode, but I
Hey,
guarantee you 30 minutes is going to be spent on Sam's butt
on
I,
near.
yeah,
Anywho,
yeah.
dude.
real
I just, I just had a feeling that was going to be the highlight of the episode.
Well, it is the
I
highlight
just
of
had a feeling that was
Of
going
course
to
it
be
I
that.
is.
mean,
So
So
I
is.
studied it very carefully. Very carefully.
yeah, you have to push pause, really, are you seeing
Zoom in there. Yeah, there you
every
go.
angle?
Every angle. My goodness.
If I
Oh,
get lower, never mind. Um, real, I real quick want to say hi to Cynthia and Kathy and Maureen. And Stacy is here as well. Hello, ladies. Thanks for joining us. We will talk about other things that happen in the episode. I promise.
I did like the
It
beginning. It was cute.
it, it
Yes.
is a really good. The entire episode is literally
Yeah,
welcome
it's really
home,
good.
but
I
it
like
just
the
takes
beginning
a
where he's
Yeah.
just so curious.
yeah
Because that's how they start when they're on the horse talking and she's
yeah
talking about the plane and he's just like in awe and wants to know everything and how high does it go? I mean, it's just so cute that he actually believes her and
Yeah.
just wants to
yes
know it all and is very, very
And
trusting
then
and
then I
curious.
like he asked how old she is.
Yeah,
I
yes.
forgot that part.
yeah,
I thought you were my age or a couple of years
or
younger. I
younger.
mean,
Yeah.
and that's why she loves him right there.
I know, right? Absolutely.
There you
I
I
go.
went
was
to
younger than you.
You
Okay.
at
you know what
27. I
time?
wasn't really worried about people and my age.
Mm.
At 27, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, how old was he supposed to be at this time? 22, 3?
22.
25.
Well,
No, he's
there's a
22.
5-year
There's a
I
Oh,
think
five
that's
he's
year
right.
younger
difference.
than that.
23. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah,
23.
22, 23, right?
Yeah,
23. Yeah.
And she's what supposed
Yeah,
to be what 27,
27. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
he said she'll be 245 when he's 40.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
I don't
having
get
fun
that
with the
part.
math there.
So
I'm like, yeah, you might want to try math, people.
I think she'd be negative 155.
Right? It'd be the opposite direction, right? Negative.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
that's
true,
what I'm
she wasn't
thinking.
even born yet, so it's like,
That,
okay,
thank you. That's what I'm thinking. Negative
negative
years.
240,
You
There you
old,
go.
old man. You've got at least
exactly,
a century and a
right,
half
he's not
on me,
even
so.
born yet.
right? Totally,
And,
totally.
and
That's the new math,
I,
and
I'm
I thank you for
That's the
joining
new
us
math.
on this lesson.
I'm
So-
watching it. I'm watching it now, and may I just say how just it's the reason why I've fallen madly in love with him, how gorgeous he looks.
I know,
How
right?
beautiful and handsome and wonderful he looks.
Yeah.
I'm watching him now. I'll tell you. It's like I just can't get over how gorgeous he looks. He looks
See, and here
so
I
good.
thought you were going to say how gorgeous Scotland looks, but I understand that
Well,
we're
Yeah.
going to focus on the
Scotland looks
Jamie of
beautiful
it all.
too.
you're right.
I just
Yeah.
watch
Lots of
it for the
landscape.
scenery.
Yeah, they have a lot of landscape
the
in this one
scenery is
too.
gorgeous,
Beautiful.
too.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
he just looks so good. I know why I just fell in love with this show just watching. And Claire looks beautiful too. She really
beautiful.
does.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how beautiful and handsome and gorgeous they look.
I agree.
I'm smitten.
Very pretty people.
I really am.
And
Very
this is
pretty
after
people.
they're supposed to have been traveling for weeks, on horseback, and
Right? And camping and in the yeah, I'm like, really? And you look like
everybody's
that?
just gorgeous
Okay.
all the time.
Sure. Sure you do. not a speck of dirt on them. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Well, they wash up.
camping.
They go to the water and
Yeah,
wash
and-
up.
Well,
And
still.
Jackie, where's all their equipment? There's no
Right?
equipment.
I think they sleep in the tartan, and then that's it. That's all they got.
All
Yep.
they got.
That's all I got.
Wow. You're talking roughing it.
Their greeting home is interesting because at first it's like really, really joyful. Jenny is there. Yay, we meet Jamie's sister, which is a really great like homecoming to like, okay, now we can meet the family. And it's really wonderful. She's, envelops him in a hug and they're really excited. And then his face draws down when he sees little wee Jamie.
Little wee Jamie. That's so
Little wee
cute.
Jamie.
Well, he kind of remembers what happens at the beginning, though. Before they walk in there, he
Mhm.
remembers Blackjack and what he was doing. He kind of does a flashback, and that kind of gives him a little more solemn look, like he's not quite
Yes.
happy there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's remembering what's going on,
This is true. Yeah.
Mhm.
and he doesn't look exactly happy walking through that door right at the beginning because he's
And he
remembering all of
believes-
You're
that.
right.
He believes everything that Dougal's told him,
Right.
Mm.
and,
they don't
and
really
he has
explain-
no reason to doubt what Dougal has
Dougal
said.
says, and he did that on
Except
purpose.
it's
They talk
Dougal.
about that in the book, why Dougal said that, because he was trying to keep him away from that so he could take Lallybroch from him,
Yes.
and that's why he kept telling him them lies about what happened. But
Yeah.
they don't
Mhm.
explain that here.
No.
No.
He
no,
believes
they
all
don't.
of that.
Yeah. And
That little boy is so cute. Oh my goodness, how
Yeah.
cute is that little
Yeah.
thing?
Oh,
Very
wasn't he
cute.
cute?
Beautiful little boy.
they
Just
do
looks
use
around.
the flashbacks a lot in this episode too to
They
help
do.
Yes.
tell the story. And
Tell the
again,
story.
they use them in a really, really useful way. It's
Yes, they
Mhm.
do.
yeah, and we get to see Brian, which I get really excited about, even though
Yeah.
we only get to see him for like this long. But we get to see a lot of things. Anyway, so we get to yay, we're home. Lallybroch, he's kind of, as Jakey says, having a little trouble walking
trouble.
into his home again because his memories are kind of in the way. And then of course he and Jenny have a little spat because
Mm,
he assumes, like you said, what Dougal said was true.
Yep.
That is the funniest conversation. I mean, it's bad, don't get me wrong, but because you're sitting there going, well, wait, no, wait.
Yeah.
And it happens so fast from his assumption of Jamie to Jenny being really upset about it. And then
Right.
Ian just kind of being his smiley self.
Yeah, I love the way he says that. You always know how to make an entrance, Jamie. The way he says that. Yeah, you always know how to make an entrance.
It's
Good or bad.
It is perfect. And
Perfect.
I do feel bad for Claire because if I saw my husband and his family getting upset, I'd be eventually trying to intervene too.
Well, and then
Guys,
Jenny
chill
calls
out.
her a name without even knowing her and doesn't even ask
Yeah.
the question. That's what I didn't understand about that, really. She doesn't even ask. She just automatically calls her a name right off the
Jesus.
get-go.
Well, that Frasier anger, once you're upset,
Yes,
nobody be
yes.
near him because
Yeah.
yeah, we're firing at Will and everybody's name is Will. We're just gonna,
Get in the middle.
yeah. It's one of my favorite jokes because my husband's name is Will.
Oh, okay.
Whenever we watch something and they say fire at Will, I'm like, duck, babe. It's an old joke in this house, though. It does no longer get laughs. So I appreciate that. Thank you for giggles. What did you guys think about when they get into Lallybroch and Set, and we've got the 4 adults in the family. just all seated, and it's. I love the room. I love Lallybroch, but it is a
Yes.
really interesting tone. The dynamic between brother and sister,
hmm
and then husbands and wives of the two sitting there, kind of going, "Whoa, they're gonna," because they're just volleys going at each other.
I think it's funny how she says at the very beginning before they walk in, "Don't make me grab your, I don't know, do your bollocks like we did when we were little." I
Yes.
rolled. And
Yeah.
you know what's funny about that is in the book she actually does.
Yes, she actually does.
She
in the
actually
book.
does in the book.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like, oh my God. I just thought that was hilarious. So they reference it here, but in the
Yeah.
book she actually does it.
yeah.
Wow.
That is a
Yeah.
important difference, Jackie. Thank you for pointing that
Yeah.
out for us.
Yeah.
She does because
Some
Jenny
serious
don't play in the
familiarity
book.
there.
Yeah, Jenny doesn't play in the book. I'm just saying.
No.
And 90% of it is Jenny instigating it.
Totally.
Like Ian
Mhm.
says in a later episode, if there's a pot of shite on to boil, you're the
You're gonna
first one
stir
to
it like it's
stir it.
God's work. I love that line. It's the best in the biz. That is the best line ever. I love that line.
She is going to jump onto anything.
On it.
She's like a porcupine all the
Yeah.
time.
In the
She's
book,
looking
she's
for
an
something
instigator.
to stab.
They kind of
Yeah.
calm Jenny down in the story because in the book she's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and yet they gave her enough bite on the television that you get that she is not a woman to be reckoned with. You do
Right.
not
And she's
know.
tiny as anything. It don't matter.
Yeah.
She's
I-
a little chihuahua going after everybody.
If
Right.
she represents too how Ellen was, it makes it more sense. It makes it make more sense why Jamie liked Claire so much as a strong woman who speaks
Yeah.
her mind, and
Yeah.
Right.
He's used to that.
yeah, exactly.
And-
He's used to those kind of women.
Women.
And we
yeah.
all,
Yeah.
we marry our fathers, they marry their mothers. It's a situation.
It's funny.
And Laura Donnelly, she's great.
Fabulous.
Yes,
So
she
good.
did a good job.
As,
She is
uh,
fabulous
oh,
in this show. She really is.
Jenny,
Mhm.
I must say. I mean,
Yeah.
the other girl who had to take her place, but she's amazing in this. Really, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to
Uh,
follow that, and she even mentioned it. It's hard to follow that, and no one should expect her to. So, it
No.
is what it is. Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
expect each actor to take a character,
To be indifferent.
be honest about the character, but still
Yeah.
portray them in the way they see them and feel them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They take direction. They can't
Yeah.
become another person. They're doing
No.
their best to interpret this
Right.
character.
The character.
And I think that both of them did a fantastic job. I think we are very used to Laura. Laura brought the character to life for us. She
Mhm.
did a magnificent job.
Yep.
I mean, everything from the part where she calls her a trollop to later saying, "But we were sisters."
Right.
I
Mhm.
mean, she played her perfectly.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Kristen Atherton picking up that mantle and playing it was brave in the first place, but she played the
Mhm.
character exceedingly well as
Yes,
well,
she did.
just in her own
Yeah.
way.
In her own
So
way.
I can't fault it. I cannot throughout this entire series from beginning to end so far fault a single one of the casting choices.
They
Not
did
for replacements.
incredible
and-
casting choices.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they are.
It's
So,
been amazing.
mhm.
It is. It's amazing. There's no one better. No,
really
amazing.
so
Yeah.
good.
They do such a good job of making family members resemble each other. I just saw a side-by-side picture of Jack Randall and Alex Randall, and they literally look like they could be brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, they and the way Jamie and William look. I mean, they did such a good job making
job.
family members look
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
When they
It's
first
amazing how they do that.
Remember when they first cast Charles and it was that tank top shirt where Sam is sitting back just like chilling for a pose, and then they got Charles in kind of the same chilling
Uh-huh.
in a pose, and you're like, oh my gosh, does Sam
Yeah.
know he had a child?
Mhm.
Because it's,
Yeah, a 22-year-old one. There you go.
well,
Whoa.
that's
Started
a
early.
decent age difference.
a
He would have
long
been
time
about
ago.
23, so
Yeah, you could.
I
That
feel
was a
like
long time ago.
Could.
but-
You could.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I've been marveling at that in the same way with Katrina's mother in Blood of My Blood, Hermione Corfield. their bone structure, their physique.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like they said, we just need to find somebody who looks like Katrina with a little bit of somebody else splashed in, and that's exactly what it looks like. It looks,
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't even. It's really good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Wait, where are we, ladies? Are we're watching?
Well,
We're
right
we're
now
talking
they're
about
having a
them
chat.
getting,
Them guys having a chat
Yeah.
in the parlor.
and Jamie finds out what
He wants to know what
happened.
happened. He
Yes.
goes, I need to know what happened.
Yes,
Right?
and I
'Cause he
like
doesn't
that she
know what
says,
happened.
"I'll tell you, but just the once,
And only once.
and I'm
That's
never
it.
talking about it again."
Talk about it again.
Yeah.
It
I like
is-
I like how they did the whole coloring. They kind of really faded out everything except for the red coats, which I think is amazing because that really kind of accentuates
Yeah.
who we're talking about here. Because
Yeah.
that's all you really see in color is the red coats. Everything else is kind of
There's,
black and white. I love
there's
that.
A lot of
Well, that's pretty
there's
cool.
A lot of flashbacks in this episode. Many
Yeah.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
You know. So we she still has a chip on her shoulder. Jenny, she's still pissed, but she's going to tell him.
Yep.
And boy, we see everything. She tells us everything about that episode.
Yeah.
You got to give props to Tobias on this one, though.
Yeah.
Gotta give props to Tobias. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I heard the worst joke about him, and I don't even remember it, but the punchline was any chance to pull out his willy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. He
Yeah.
does expose himself an awful lot in these
Awful
shows
lot
and
in
movies.
the first season. Yes, he does.
I'm just like,
And that's Tobias.
yes.
yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's like,
He didn't have an issue, I guess, signing that dotted line. Oh my God.
more power to him. I'm not. I'm. It's not
Wow.
necessarily a complaint, just an observation.
Observation, yes.
Because everybody has their limits and what they're comfortable with, and
What
if
they're comfortable doing. Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
He doesn't
good body
seem to
image,
have-
that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems to be right up there. He'll do anything for. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't up there in that scene.
No,
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He was having a I think that's what I love about Jenny's retelling is because our first impulse is to laugh too. She didn't even know why she was
She was
laughing,
laughing. She just
but the
laughed.
rest of us are going.
Now we know why she's laughing. She's like, because you can't get it up.
But she didn't know that's what he was doing. Her complete innocence. Well, now I know what he
I
was
don't know
up
why
to.
he can't. The dude doesn't like girls. I'm like, I don't understand why he's even trying. I mean, I guess that's what I don't get.
It's
I
not that he
don't
likes
didn't
either one,
understand.
but no, he
thought maybe
he
you
has said
got lucky
before
or
he
something.
sometimes
I
has a
don't know.
preference for one over the other depending on his mood. He's
Oh, he
basically
doesn't
have no
bisexual,
mood.
but like in a violent way.
He doesn't have no
Yeah.
mood. The dude likes boys. Like girls at all.
Yeah.
Ew.
He tried. He really.
Well, he couldn't
tried.
take Jamie in the
There's no
house.
need for effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's all it was. Well, then he wasn't that excited about Jamie either. I'd be insulted if I were Sam.
Oh,
Everybody else thinks I'm pretty. Why don't you?
why not you? Well, he does think he's pretty, but just in a little bit.
Yeah. Oh.
Well,
So,
Lord.
Yeah.
and I
Bias.
just want to point out that the conversation when Jamie's brought before him, that's a revelation too, right there. That's when you realize what's going on. When
Yeah.
Okay.
he sees his father in the hallway.
Yeah, but that's
in the
next
forgot some of
episode.
these parts.
Yeah, that's
then,
the next one, Diane.
Yeah, that's the next
we're gonna do that
episode.
one next, which I understand because I was so into what I was watching. I invariably push skip on whatever app I'm watching on to skip commercials, to skip the intro. I just pushed skip and didn't even realize it till I was halfway done with 13. I was like, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong episode. Whoops.
Actually, what she's talking about though, about him, Dad, in the hallway, is in this episode because
Oh,
that's
okay.
the flashback that he has and tells Claire about while they're in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
they're
Lallybroch.
almost to
So he
that
does
part
have
where
that
I'm
whole-
watching.
Right.
That whole part is in this episode
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
because
right,
that's what prompts him not to let Blackjack do what he wants, is because his dad
Yeah.
kissed him. He goes,
He
I
said he
remember
thought
that, and I
about
couldn't
it.
let him
That's
do
right.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so it
So that's
yeah,
this
you're
episode.
good. You're good.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
thought,
Diane,
You're
don't
good,
let us
Diane.
correct
I
you
got
like
that,
that.
girl.
You tell us who's up, right?
I know what I'm talking about.
You know what
That's
you're talking
right.
about, girl.
What I like is when Jamie takes her in the dining room and tells her to stop talking back and to
Yeah,
control herself because
yeah.
it's his family, his home, and
And
his time.
His time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, get that, Claire.
Get
It's
that.
just-
You're not going
He
to get
still
it.
hasn't got that.
It's just
Yeah.
etiquette there. I mean, and it's etiquette she wasn't really aware of because this is
Yeah.
the first time they're in his home.
His family.
It's
Yeah.
his family,
that's-
and
Right.
and yes, his
this
time, but
in the
I don't think she-
1700s, yeah, a wife
she just didn't
keeps
understand the
quiet.
etiquette. Okay.
Yeah, she
No.
doesn't say anything.
Not
you
yet.
know? She
He has to
defers
explain it to her. I
husband.
like how he parallels Column's wife.
Yes.
She never says it out loud in
Oh, yeah,
public, but
Letitia.
behind closed doors, that girl will kick his ass. So that's what we need to do here. Out here,
Yeah.
don't say nothing. In the bedroom, we can talk.
Yeah. And then and they're talking about pottery. I'm going, what is he talking about pottery? And then I realized what he
Pottery.
wrote,
That's what
she
he's talking
wrote
about.
that.
Woman's
It
throwing
took me a
things at his
while.
head.
I'm slow, but it took me a while, and I got it. But
I love
yeah, the thing is though, what I found interesting though is when Jenny was yelling and upset, Ian would be quiet.
Yeah.
He wouldn't say anything. He would defer to her too. And then he said later on, he said how tough she is, and went
it.
up
You don't
in the
want to get in the middle
hallway.
between the Frasers.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And when
I
they're
wouldn't.
talking up,
Yeah.
I thought that was so nice when she's looking at the pictures up in the hallway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Ian comes. He's such a nice guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they start
like Ian.
talking, and he
Sweet.
says, he says we have to be quiet. He says we know how they are, and he says
Right.
I've learned and everything. So he
That's how
defers to her,
I know Stephen Cree is a really good actor because
Yes.
Ian is very calm and relaxing to be around, and Stephen is like spit on a hot skillet, and he's just all goofiness, man.
in
He's
real
just all
life.
goo-
In real
Yes.
life.
Oh my gosh. There's this one part in the gathering last year, and I kid you not, they had an ASL interpreter, so the people who were coming that were deaf could follow along the panel with no problem.
Yep.
And forgoing what the conversation was, at some point Steve started talking about sperm. And the sign for sperm is this. And the reason I know this is because he kept saying it over and over and over and over again just to get the ASL lady to keep doing this. And so by the end of it, we wanted to petition the ASL community to make that Steve's official name sign so that when people say, "What's your name?" he can go, "Sperm." And that will be his official name. I don't know how we can make that happen, but in American Sign Language, that should be Steve's name, just because it was a very, like the entire audience at one point, they were like, "Let's all say sperm." So the whole audience is doing this. I don't know if that makes us spunk as the audience, but there's a whole bunch of spermians flying. Anyway, side story for fun things. Yes, aren't you glad you're here? Anywho, I apologize. It's just sometimes I like to share my experience. So you do.
Of course. We love to hear it. We love to hear it, Katie, your experiences.
So they do get through their conversation in the room, and not that everything is settled much, but we get more information, and then he gives Claire more information when they go up to the laird's room, because Ginny and Ian's stuff was moved out right quick because the laird is home, and so Claire and Jamie get the laird's room, and so this is where he breaks down some more of his experience with Black Jack, and and that's where what Diane said, and that Melissa and I were like, "You're wrong," but she's absolutely right. We see Brian for the first time. Yes, Diane, you're right. We apologize. I admit I'm wrong like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Just ask me. I'll tell you.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it. I'm only wrong when someone catches me. Other than that,
This is true.
I
This is
remember
true.
that.
I remember that.
Again, that's why I always
Yeah.
encourage people to correct me if I get something wrong. That because I don't want to be a spread misinformation, especially on a show we like and be like. Anyway, so we get the story of his dad dying, which is shocking. It's not something
Yes.
you're expecting in this nice little, not a nice little couples chat, but he's talking about what is horrific, and we're thinking it's about his back and about being marred yet again, and it's not. The worst part of that story
For him,
is that his dad
Yeah.
dies,
Dad
and
dies.
because of this,
and
and
he blames himself for that.
because he
Yeah.
didn't just let Jack do his thing. He
Right.
still had this closeness and love of his dad, and he just couldn't let his dad think he had quit or failed or
Failed.
uh,
Giving in.
Given
Yeah,
into
And
it.
he said,
Yeah.
and it was so sad because he said, I didn't see him die. I didn't see him being taken away. I
Nope.
didn't
Yeah.
see him be buried. He listed all these things,
Listed
which
all,
was
yeah.
very
hadn't even been to his grave yet.
Grave.
grave.
Right.
Didn't
I
see
mean-
his grave. Exactly. That was a really sad part. But I must say, that part where he's beating him, that is amazing.
Yeah.
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 It's really, I've seen it so many times, and it just
Yeah.
gets to me every time. It's so real. you
Well,
know, so
Sam said he did catch a few of those whips too
Yeah.
Did
in
he?
real
Because
life.
in
Really?
real life, because they said there wasn't quite enough padding in certain areas, and when Tobias was doing that, they caught him a few times. He said,
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Oof.
It looks
Yeah.
so real. It was just absolutely amazing the way they did that.
"It
And
is
he was-
incredible."
Yeah.
With like that black and white filter to take out a little bit of the color or a good portion of the color so you can see that this is a flashback and this is a momentous moment. This is
Yep.
something we need to pay attention to. Wonder if that's why they lighten it too, so you kind of have to look harder to see what's
Mhm.
going on.
And the other
Um,
thing that killed me is Dougal is watching this, and there's no emotion from him. Nothing. He's just standing there watching this, which
Yeah, but that's the
you know,
Mackenzie thing. They should hide their emotions.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to go ooh ooh or something like that. You
Nah,
know?
they-
But he
Nothing.
didn't
That's
do
they
anything.
don't show any.
Nothing. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no emotions whatsoever. He's it was that really got to me too. It's I mean you could watch this over and over again and it's just amazing how
Yeah.
it just grabs you, you know, it really does.
Well, there's so
Um,
many different point of views to watch it from. You can watch it from Jamie's. You can watch it from his
Mhm.
dad's. You can watch it from Dougal's. You can watch it from the onlookers who are just like there for the show or
From-
awaiting
Right.
And Claire,
somebody
kinda
else.
gave-
and Claire's,
They kind of gave that
and
outlook
Claire's
a couple
perspective
season or a couple
watching it,
episodes
you know,
prior to that
her perspective.
when
Yeah.
they gave it through Blackjack's view because they gave it his view too, and that was
Mhm.
part of his view.
Yeah.
He thought it was
Yeah.
amazing, or they were
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
art, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is that shit? Like the
Yeah.
dude was crazy.
Oh
Ew,
yeah.
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
And Claire's listening to this and she walks over to him and hugs him.
Yeah.
She really, you know, it really gets to her too. I think that seeing her perspective, she really cared for him and was really upset about it too. You
Well,
know,
she
and
even
she
mentioned,
wasn't there.
how do you
She
know if
can
you would have
just
done
imagine.
any different if it would have changed that? Anyways, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Blackjack was sick.
Yeah.
So she goes, even if you would have given in, would he have done it anyways? This is not
Yeah,
his
And-
fault.
that's right.
Yeah.
I-
That's
Does he mention
He
in
said
this
we'll
one
never
the
know.
boy that hung himself?
No,
No, we aren't there
That's
yet.
later.
we're not there yet. That's not this
Okay.
episode. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Sorry.
That comes, I think, in Wentworth. I think
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
don't know.
remember and I
I think
can't.
that or the last one. I think one of
I
the
think
two.
it's the
can't
last
remember.
one. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's one of that
Yeah.
last ones. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
So I think the next bit we can tackle, I think they're having dinner, but I really want to get to the laird of it all here.
Dinner,
Yeah. We when we first meet Jamie, we get a very kind of a humble attitude from him.
Yeah.
Humble is flown right out the window during this episode.
yeah.
Her day.
Yeah.
I mean, he puts on his dad's jacket. He's all
Yep.
dressed as the laird, which we do get to see Brian in that jacket in the 7th season, but we know where it's coming from, where he gets it here.
Right.
And I don't even know, like from the moment he sits down, it's kind of like he's decided he is big man on campus. And yes,
Right.
technically he is, but he hasn't been there running it. He doesn't know what the
Right.
land needs. He
No,
doesn't know what the
nothing.
tenancy. He knows jack shit
Zero.
to be about what's going on.
Right.
And so a
But
lot
I'm
of
not
things.
gonna ask.
No, and he doesn't ask at all. He doesn't ask how things are going. In fact, Jenny says we've had a rough couple of seasons, haven't had the biggest harvest, and instead of going, okay, we need to tighten our belts and be a little more careful. No, he's like free taxes for everybody. Nobody owes anything, and he's making decisions willy nilly, just
Mm-hmm.
throughout. What decisions do you think he made the most harsh ones? I'm taking the tax one.
Yeah, but he didn't collect the money. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he needed the money. I just think he was among his people, so I think he felt comfortable, and he just felt he was, they kept saying you're the laird, so he
Trying to
Yeah.
prove himself. He's trying
Yeah.
to prove himself because
Yeah.
he hasn't been there, and Jenny's been running this whole thing, and now he's trying to prove that he can do it,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And he's trying to step into that role because he thinks he should, because he's the
Yeah.
man. And of course, it doesn't
And
matter
and
if he
he's-
hasn't been there or not. They give it to him.
Yeah, and he's with all his friends and all his, his relatives and everything. He feels very comfortable. He's happy to be there, So
Yeah.
he just kind of takes control,
Yeah.
And he's the laird. That's what they kept telling him, So he took
Right.
it to heart, you can't blame him in a way. But yeah, the worst thing was that he didn't collect the money, and you could tell Denny was really pissed about that. That's for sure.
And also
you know?
about taking in the little boy too. He didn't ask
Yeah.
anybody about any of that
Yeah.
either.
No.
Yeah.
He just took it
No,
in his
and
own hands,
settling
as he
it
was
with his
supposed to
fists was
do,
not smart.
and just
Yeah,
didn't even ask about anything.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Claire a little bit of credit on that being a bad mistake because
Yeah.
Yes.
she didn't ask either, and I feel like at that time it would have been more of a woman's place to talk to the other women because it had to do with the children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
Yeah.
she tried to talk to Jenny about it, and Jenny kind of brushed her off
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she brought
Yeah.
the kid
Yeah.
to Jenny, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
did
And Jenny said, "Don't worry about it."
Jamie brushed her off too. He left or something, and she was stuck with the loan. She was concerned about him,
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but see, they find out later on that they've been working for that little boy to try to get him to be with his aunt or something,
What
Yeah.
happened to the mom? They never mentioned where the mom is in this whole thing.
Well,
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because isn't the mom in another episode? So where's the mom in this
Yes.
episode?
Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, where is she?
yeah,
never mentioned the
she's
mom.
an important face in the third season later
Yeah, but
on.
where is she
Well-
in this episode?
Well, she's property too, so she doesn't have much say.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in the same position the little boy's in. They
Yeah.
just can't do anything for her really because she's his wife.
Yeah.
But they don't
Getting
even
him
mention
out
her.
of the house.
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
think they would even mention her as the
Yeah.
mom?
I don't know why she didn't mention her.
You know what I mean?
I don't know
Jenny
why
never
either.
even mentions her.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
curious.
Did they
Yeah, I
mention her in the
agree.
book? Did they
kinda weird.
mention her in the book anywhere? Or is
Trying
that
to remember during
I'm
that
trying to
argument.
remember. I don't remember.
Don't think so.
No.
But
Feels like
they
she
make
was just sort of brushed over as a non-factor because again, it's a man's world. What she wants doesn't really matter. Getting the kid out of
Right.
the house was the
I mean,
why it was the grandmother and the aunts and not the mom
Yeah,
at
I see.
all. I couldn't.
Yeah,
tell.
that part I didn't understand, especially since she was such a big issue in another season. Why they didn't at least mention her?
well,
Well,
she's
you
still
asked
very.
Diane.
Because this would have been a good spot to at least mention the chick. I'm sorry.
Well, in the other season, she's very meek. So, I think that's part of her character is she doesn't take steps to be forward and to do things.
No.
But she does in the next season, though.
Well, but then she has no husband by then.
Yeah.
She is her
True.
own
He's
woman
dead.
at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's
Yeah.
just just as afraid of her Mr. McNabb as the boy is.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
McNabb, yeah, that's the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rabbi is the boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Robbie McNabb. That one I remembered. I could never remember Mary McNabb,
Mary.
the mom. And I have
Yeah,
no
'cause
idea what
she-
the dad's name. Jackass.
I
feel
think
like
it was
is-
Robert.
Rob.
Eh,
Rob, I
Rob,
think,
yeah,
right?
Rob.
yes.
Yeah, Rob
Yeah, it was
Path.
Rob, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Robbie or something.
Yeah, they don't really
That's-
explain how he dies, but they do extensively in the book how he gets
Yes.
killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's no longer with us, though.
No longer with us. Yeah.
We're all for the better at that point. But right now, he is with us
Absolutely.
and causing trouble.
Well, apparently Jamie beat him up, right? Jamie.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Jamie beats him
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Jamie
But
beats him up,
he didn't kill him. He just beat
but he
him
doesn't
up.
kill
He
him.
didn't
Someone
kill
else
him.
sets the whole house on fire and he
So he
dies.
got-
That's
yeah,
how they do it in the
actually,
book.
He said, "Well, if you can raise him better, then you take him."
Yeah.
And
Exactly,
That's how they got
yep.
the little
Yeah.
place. Yeah, that's how it turned out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Actually,
they,
that's what I'm watching right now is her talking to the father after he's beaten the kid.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, I got drunk
Um,
Jamie trying to come to bed.
that's cute.
I'm,
I think that's
I'm
whole scene is
watching, I'm
hilarious.
watching,
Drunk Jamie.
I'm watching
Yeah.
Jamie and Jenny in the cemetery when they
Oh,
both say
okay.
they're sorry and everything.
Diane's
Is this
way
the only
ahead of
time I
us.
think we see Jamie drunk?
No,
Yeah.
no, because we
Again.
see him come back from the brothel at least once in season 2, where he's
Yeah.
had slightly more, and he has trouble explaining hickeys on his thighs, and it
Yeah.
does
Well,
not
he's
go
drunk there,
well.
though. He's not drunk there.
He was
Yeah.
he's toasty at least on one when he comes back from the brothel. Because it's the way he's chatting. He's like, "Hey, how are we doing today?" I mean, a little more cheery than our normal Jamie, who just loves his Claire.
And,
It's
and
not
then
like-
he goes and says, "We didn't do anything." He says,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
she's biting his thigh. I don't know.
That's
That's
funny.
hard to believe, you know.
Cute.
I'd like
But
to see that
anyway.
conversation play out in real life and the husband not come away dead. I
Right?
just-
That's what I'm
Or
saying.
wounded.
Very wounded. Yeah. Castrated. There you go. That'd be my house.
Oh, we gave him the official bobbit. We. All right, so he does come home slightly inebriated to come home, but climb into bed.
Yep.
Claire's not impressed with him.
Mm-mm.
She hasn't been impressed with his actions the entire time. I do like that she calls him out on it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah,
I-
she's not happy.
She misses the guy she met, married, and
Yep.
then fell in love with.
Yeah.
Where is this guy?
Not here.
So I'm glad that she says it to him because I think that helps him kind of take a look at what he's been doing.
Doing.
And if
correct.
that doesn't work, Jenny's gonna help out. So,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good time.
I love how
Like-
she does that. She
Oh,
comes
yeah.
in and rolls him out of bed. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
But
Cute.
I have a different take on this too, because shouldn't he be allowed to have fun with his friends and everything too? You know, get drunk.
Be a
with his
grown up
friends.
though, man.
Yeah,
If you're gonna
but
be
that guy's
layered,
gone through beatings and everything. Doesn't he deserve to have some fun with his
okay.
relatives and his friends and everything? I think she's
If
maybe a
I-
little hard on him.
If I, in my past life, say, had been married to an alcoholic who thought that coming in dressed or stinking of beer and tripping over his own feet was a turn on, that might have been wrong. And that's what I'm saying is him, fine, have your nice night, but don't expect me to be like excited about it. You know,
Yeah.
just because you're feeling extra good, I'm tired. I got a busy day tomorrow. You know, that's all
But you
I'm
know,
saying.
in that part, when he comes in like that, she's laying there and she smiles. So
Mhm.
I think she has that little smile on her face when she's
Yeah,
going
she
to
does.
and
Because he
lays
asked her about
down.
elephants and he's
in
just kind of
drunken
cute at that
stupor,
point.
and he
Yeah.
calls it-
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She turns around and she smiles, which I thought was so cute. I love that.
Grins,
Well,
yeah.
and fair. You can be
she
mad at people
understood,
you
you know?
love. You can be mad at people you love and still find them charming and kind of giggle at the
Mhm.
ridiculousness, especially if it is like one or two too many and they're saying stuff like, "Do you know, I just love you so much."
And he
And
keeps
you-
slapping her in the butt.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think that's funny.
slapping her.
You
He
know
keeps
they love
slapping
you,
her.
but the way they're doing it and why, you can't help but laugh. You love me so
kept
much, and I
That's
love you
hilarious.
too.
slapping her. That was funny. I love that.
That was funny. He keeps slapping her in the butt. Trying to make emphasis every time he says
No,
something, he slaps her in the
And you
butt.
know, it was a pretty heavy slap too. It wasn't just a little tap; it was a slap for sure.
Well, he does like her round ass, so you know,
Yeah, he mentions that quite a few times. Yeah,
make
Yeah.
use
You
of it.
know that.
it's a job with that. Yeah,
They're too funny.
they're cute.
The Mistress Mrs. Murray had sent for Davy McAndrews to fix the mill, so we are up to the
The
mill.
Yeah.
meal part.
Yeah.
Ah,
He
yes.
tastes the bread and he said it's got pebbles in it or something.
Yeah.
And that's
Hmm.
when he goes and says, "I'm going to fix it again." That,
Yep.
you know, he's showing himself off at the Lallybroch because he's the laird, so he's going to go fix it.
I
And
do
that's-
like that he's a hands-on kind of laird. Oh, it's broken.
Mhm.
Well, we're not going to wait for somebody to come fix it. I'll go fix it
I'll just
myself.
do it. Right.
Fix
Because
it
there's nothing like taking a cold dip in freezing water with your hangover.
That'll wake you up.
That'll get rid of the hangover for sure.
That'll wake
You
you
know,
up.
it really would. Yeah, it'd shock your body system.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
All right.
then so begins Jamie's Academy Award performance in the water, naked. This is what we all look forward to.
Well, is it Sam that's getting the award or just Sam's rear end? I don't know. Who are
His
we
whole bod,
nominating?
because he comes up naked.
Well, I like
Right?
when I like in the when it's frontal nudity, he's covering it with his hand. That's
I
very
know he comes up
cool.
naked.
Yeah. That's a real
Okay,
good
I'm gonna
thing.
be really crude here, but I always get really disappointed when the guy can cover it just with one hand, one cupped hand. That's it. It's like, oh,
It's
okay
called
then.
water.
Well,
You know,
Jamie-
there went my
Exactly.
fantasies out the window. So
It's really cold
Unfortunately,
water.
he
It's
needed
cold.
2 hands.
it's cold. Okay, all right. So we're
Cold.
thinking it's got a turtle thing happening, and it's
Yes,
like
it's
There you
cold.
go.
That's right. It went back. It's cold. It's ice water, man. Come on now. I guess what I did like about that scene, though, is the whole thing between Jenny and him. Because then
Yeah.
when he turns around, she really gets upset. Because that's the first time I think she has
Yeah.
seen his back
Yes.
and what
Yeah.
actually happens.
And she says
Yeah.
as much later that
Right.
she
Yeah.
didn't
In the
really
cemetery.
feel his
In the
feelings. She only
cemetery.
felt her feelings, and now,
Now she gets it.
yeah.
And now she
realizes
feels
what
like
he
it's her
went
fault.
through. Yeah, she realizes what he went through. Mhm.
Which is really awful, but also leads to them finally acting
Yeah.
like a brother and sister are happy to see each other again.
Right.
Right.
Because- Yeah. Because they
Exactly.
finally have that conversation. He finally says, "I'm sorry I didn't ask you first. You've been
Yeah.
doing this whole time and I should have asked you." And he goes and
Mhm.
tries to fix it, gets the
Yeah.
money and does all
Yeah.
of that and finally goes and
and-
see his dad's grave. Yeah.
Yes.
And she admits that she blamed him for her
Yep.
father's death in the
Yep.
cemetery.
I blamed
Said,
you.
but she's now I see what you have gone through,
Right.
and then they reconciled. It was really
Right.
nice. Yeah,
And she
both
keeps
of them.
thinking
Great
that if
act-
I had
Great
gone with him, maybe he wouldn't have done that to you. And I like how she says that and I love Jenny. I just love Jenny. Why does my virgin, or what does she say?
Why does my honor a good
Honor,
trade
right.
for your life, or your life a good trade for my honor, but my honor
Yeah.
not a good trade for
Right.
your
You
life?
think I love you less than you do? I think she's great. I love that
Yeah.
line.
We just
I don't know if
started
it was
trouble.
honor or virtue, but it's one of the, and you're just like, everybody
Yeah.
needs a Jenny. Everybody needs a
Love
Jenny
her.
in their
Well,
life.
That's
Love
the
Jenny.
Fraser.
No,
That's
no.
the Fraser family. That's them butting heads together. No, I'm better than you. No, you're better than me. They're back and forth. Who's better? Who
Love
loves
that.
each other better? Who
Finally.
sacrificed more? That's the Fraser.
And siblings do that without talking, without even thinking about it. My sister and I got into a "my life is harder than yours" discussion about going back to college, and I was like, "Well, yeah, I wouldn't eat all day," or like she was like, "Yeah, I get this one thing that I can have at lunch, and that's it. It heats it all up, so I can have a warm meal once a day." And I was like, "Wow." So when I was going back, I couldn't eat all day until I got back from classes at like 8:30 p.m. She's like, "Yeah, we all know you had it harder than me." I was like, "No, I'm trying to sympathize with the fact that it sucks when you can't eat when you're hungry at school, when you have to spend 12 hours there." So, but we do without even thinking about it. It's like, well, my life's worse than yours. No, my life's worse. And then it's the opposite. Well, my stuff's better than yours. No, my stuff's better than yours. We're awful to each other. And yet no one will defend you harder than your sibling. So
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's an
that's
intensely
true.
but they show this relationship so well between those two. I think it's
They
a
do.
great The only other two characters I think that are closer and yet not siblings would be Rupert and Angus. They're just like two sides of the same coin, and I just love them. Just love them.
Oh God, definitely love it.
Sorry, I got off on a whole
So,
tangent.
yeah. So
But yeah,
later
so
on,
yeah,
when
go ahead.
they're in the room again, and Jamie's holding her, he says such beautiful things to her. It's like a soliloquy almost, you know.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
I just think it's lovely. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, he finally tells her when he fell in love with her. I mean,
Yeah.
that's when the whole thing happens, when they both finally tell each other that they love each other for the first time
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
He tells her, she kind of
And
tells him finally. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when he talks about the round ass and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And the hard thump.
No, thump to the head. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rock hard head thumping me in the chest.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's just so beautiful what he says.
Very
to her.
romantic. Yes.
Yeah. Just lovely. And he admits the minute he laid eyes on her, he fell in love with her. And I believe that. I really
Well,
do.
he wanted her. He wanted her. The love
He wanted
came
her.
when he
Held her in his arms at Castle
And
Leo.
then she cried.
yeah.
Yeah.
For
When she
Frank.
cried.
She was crying about Frank. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the love moment.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing he said right there. He
Yeah.
he has said many beautiful things to her. You know, he really has. Throughout the show.
It's almost like
I-
a woman wrote his lines to be perfect or something. I don't.
You wonder, really? You wonder why? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's
Because I'm saying there's no guy that's gonna write that. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what somebody.
My
said.
husband's
That's
come
what-
close a couple of times.
Okay.
Well,
That's nice.
that's what somebody said. I read once. They said Jamie is so perfect because he was written by a woman.
By a woman.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wrote exactly what she wanted.
He's so
Exactly.
perfect, you know, exactly.
Totally.
She says
Diana
she
made
writes her
him-
husband, but I think it's her idyllic husband if her husband said everything right at all times
All the time. Of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
immediately accepted any mistakes he made. Have
Yep.
you met that man? I've not met that.
I have
man.
not.
No.
We're watching him on screen.
That's right. That's
it.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
We're not living with him. We're watching him on screen.
Yeah.
And we love our husbands. They're good
Over
guys.
and
I
over,
say
watching it
nothing
over
bad
and
about.
over again.
But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
mine has really great kneecaps. That's this. So overall, episode joy or kilts or we get to give this one butts. I'm so sorry, Jan, you're missing the butt rating.
Butt rating.
Because we got a butt, so we get to do
We
a
left
butt
out
rating.
the end of it though. You haven't done
No.
the end of it yet.
Oh, we haven't done the end of it yet.
And that's when they wake up and it's this the watch in the house.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
At
right.
the very end.
The watch.
Yeah.
I
She
forgot
wakes up
because
and
yeah.
goes out, and the dude's got
Yeah.
the gun to Jamie's
I'm-
head,
I'm
and it's the
watching
watch
now.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
13. It went into 13.
Yeah, that's
the
what
very-
my
the very end
problem
of this
was.
episode.
They have a
I-
gun to his head. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the last of it. That's how it
Yeah.
ends.
And that means
Yeah.
everything's fine. So they ended the episode because Outlander never leaves us wondering what the hell, because that would be wrong.
Never.
No, it would
Oh,
be
of course not.
impolite. Well, other than me not remembering which episode we were talking about because it kept trying to pull in other stuff and then tell people they were talking about the wrong one. What did you think now? How many butts?
I love this episode.
I did
Me
too.
too.
I always have loved this episode.
Yeah.
Me too. Same here. I just think it's so much happening, and
Yeah.
just
And I love the
great
family.
acting.
Finally, get the family dynamic between him and his
Yeah.
family, and I think that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the first episode that you get that, and I love that part of this episode
Yeah.
between him
Yeah.
and Jenny,
Yeah.
even him and Ian.
Yes.
I just think it's funny how he hugged Ian and didn't really hug his sister. Did you notice that, or did I just notice that?
Well, they're old
Yeah.
comrades in arms too, and they were, so there's.
Yeah. Well,
know,
and
people-
Jenny was mad at him in the beginning. You
This
know,
is
they
true.
didn't really. They hugged in the beginning when they first
Yeah.
got each other. Then he started talking about the little
True.
kid,
That's
Mhm.
true.
and it went
Yeah.
downhill for that. You know.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was
Totally
good. Great
downhill.
episode. Loved it.
Stubborn
And-
Frasers.
Stubborn Frasers, yep.
And that part with the wheel and the English coming and they're sitting there, I that was just a great part too. It really
Don't
was.
say anything. We don't want anybody knowing your English. Claire has to just sit there
Yeah,
quietly.
Yeah, but in the book, she has to play like she's lost her marbles.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She lost her child. She's just hasn't been with it since then. Okay.
And I don't think Jenny comes out in the book either, isn't it?
No, it's
No.
somebody else.
Nav is there.
Right,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Jenny doesn't really play a whole lot in this part of the
No.
book.
No,
Oh.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing him at the mill, she
Yeah.
makes him take his shirt off in the house,
Yeah,
That's
and he
right.
shows her then.
yeah.
Now, Granny McNabb is sitting there next to Claire, and Jamie wants to get out of the water. He's like, "I'll do whatever you want, just let me get out of the water."
The water, it's cold. Exactly.
Well, this one says, "Hey,
Snaps
turn
off.
your
I
back
started
before
rolling
my
when he
cock
says
snaps
that.
off." Yeah.
And I don't know what
Great.
to say about that. He's just holding himself,
Like,
waiting to get out of
it's
the
gonna
water.
snap off. Don't let me out the water.
It's classic. It's absolutely classic.
I must say, this is the one where my internet connection is unstable, and we're about to finish anyway. But I will say real quick before we go that I did think that it was funny. Well, not funny. It is one of those moments where even I am doing a little Jan imitation when he's standing there and you can see his full upper body. It's like, maybe I will push pause just for a couple of minutes. 'Cause That's nice. It's so pretty.
He's always so pretty. Absolutely pretty. Should I can
That's why
pause on Sam just about any time, and he's so pretty.
You notice when he goes to panels and stuff, he's wearing like a shirt and a jacket and like layers. I think he's hoping that none of us can picture any of that. If he wears enough layers, our minds will just blank out. We won't be able to. We've all seen so much ear butt. It's not even funny. Anyway,
Yeah.
layering up.
But he looked just like a He-Man. He really does.
Gosh, he does.
His muscles and his
It's
everything.
ridiculous.
The whole picture was just perfect, I must say. The whole, front and back.
And all the way around, 360.
Twirl around a little bit.
Do
Do a little dance.
No, the 360 was the wedding episode. That's the wedding. Yeah, get the full 360. That's another butt episode.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's a good episode, too.
That's a
He's
good one.
beautiful.
Okay, see, Jan is over here now, probably mad at
Beautiful.
us. Jan says, "Hi, ladies. My
Hey.
favorite scene is at the mill, and he's so pretty." She's just agreeing with us. He's so pretty.
Mhm.
Jan,
Yeah.
I immediately, and I was like, you know what?
He's so pretty.
I should have made space for Jan just so she could like spend a half hour talking about his butt.
That
at
one
the
we
mill.
never got through this whole episode, girl. Come
I'm
on.
gonna do a
That'd be the
special.
only thing we talked about the whole.
That's the only thing we talked about.
Hey, Katie, we like to talk about butts too,
You can absolutely. I am not halting your bottom speak.
I prefer to
don't
Jan,
know.
but we
Yeah,
like to
no.
talk about it too.
No, you're all good.
I'm giving this a 5 butt, y'all. 5 butt.
5 butts.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
gosh, is 5 the highest?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh well, then I give it 5 butts too.
Well, there we go. That's all the butts.
Absolutely.
Before we get cut off, because we kind of did it all right last week, I'm going to say good night and thank you so much, guys, so much for coming
Good night.
on, Jackie and Diane and Melissa.
Thank
This
you
has been
for having
Outlander,
us.
Season 1, Episode 12, and more of Sam's butt.
Yeah.
Mature discussions about well-written and
Katie, are you
played
going to
television.
continue this to season 1, and then that's it after season 1?
I'm thinking. No, we're gonna go and do all the seasons. It's just gonna be in a weird order because season 8 will happen in the middle of us doing this, and Blood of My Blood is gonna start in the middle of us doing this. So we will take long breaks, but as long as you guys are interested in listening and people are interested in what we have to say, we'll just keep going.
Keep going.
As long
Yep.
as it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's a
Exactly.
blast. I love my Mondays, y'all. You make my
Who doesn't
Mondays.
like that fun,
Well, they are going to cut us off soon. So, guys, thanks again. Thank you. Just thank you so much for making this a fun time. I enjoy our Mondays together as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Safe. Be
Bye-bye,
seeing you tomorrow
everybody.
on Tuesday. Love y'all. Bye bye.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye. I know we're.
Oh, I cut off Diane. I'm so sorry. That is all we are gonna do tonight, guys. I do believe that. Let me think. Next week, and we're gonna go through the 16 episodes in order. We may or may not take a break before I head off to Las Vegas because we would only be able to get in a few episodes. But I will probably take votes on that from you guys to find out if we should just continue right up until. I have to leave for Arizona and Las Vegas and keep it stopped until we're done with Blood of My Blood, because then we would start it back up until season 8 came. You guys give me some ideas of how you'd like to do it, or do you want a long break? Otherwise, yeah, there would just be a couple of Mondays without any review at all while I'm on my trip, and then we would be back to Mondays with Blood of My Blood. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you did not see and have been wondering about my hope for my Jeep, I will tell you real quickly that my GoFundMe got a big boost from my mother. I am now at, I believe, 63% of my total hope, which brings us under $2,000 left. Before I reach my goal. $3,185 have been raised so far. I want to thank all of you who have put any donations in. That includes Cynthia, Lorraine, Kathy, Suzanne, Jan, Diane, and Charles. I want to thank you all so much for helping me try to achieve my dream. I cannot believe I'm actually this close to it. If you think you can help, please do. If you can spread the word, please do. If you have any high hopes for me, send them into the universe. If you have more time tonight, you don't want to go to bed yet, you want to talk about more Outlander stuff, then check out the videos down below. I do post one every day now, just about, if not more, on occasion. So you might have missed something. Go check that out. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for a live update on whatever the heck I happen to find out about Outlander between now and then. Have a good night, guys.